Oh, let me get my shit. This is professional.
Hey, can one of the mods change the title of the stream, please?
What? Do we even have mods?
Yeah.
Who's your mod?
You don't know.
So I don't like. I don't understand like the concept of a mod. So like, they're just people that just hang out in chat rooms and like they're like hall monitors basically, right? Yeah, like for Twitch or Discord. Pardon me. They have them on They have them on Twitch too, though. I see them, but I don't really like go on Twitch to even like have a.
Yeah, man, it's pretty much just people who.
But like,
Yeah,
how
they're
does that
like
work?
you said, they're like all monitors.
But like, who assigns the role? Like the streamer, right?
The streamer, yeah, the streamer.
So like, but who would want to do that? Like, I feel like this is a shitty job. They don't get paid, do they?
Is it really that bad?
I mean, like, I guess if you're like a super fan of a streamer, maybe. But even then, it's like I would probably.
You'd be surprised.
Really?
You don't want to be modding the chat?
No. I mean, is there even anyone in the chat right now? How do I check? Because we're on Twitch right now, no?
Yes, sir. We're live. We just posted.
Did you even tag me, bro? How disrespectful.
I'm posting a link right now.
Yeah, we're not even live. It's still showing the stream is starting.
Well, I mean, look at Heroes.
Oh, okay, the audio is.
Yeah. All right, boys. And it is up.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty.
Hold on, I'm on the fucking stream.
Alright, and we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Another episode of Talking Pod live. As you guys know, making that smooth transition back over to live viewership from our YouTube base. Very happy to have Eric back with me. Eric, you know, the people love you. They want you. You know, I actually got a lot of people coming up to me, both in the DMs and online. They were just telling me that they really appreciated your Raider, you know, knowledge. Like they felt like you did real deep dives. Like, is that just something naturally from being a fan that you just through the years, or do you like actually watch? Like, because you knew intricate like details about every position player.
Okay.
Is that partly like deep dive research, or is it just strictly along the way of being, you know?
I find this very hard to believe that someone went up to you and was like,
"No, I'm not. No joke. No joke."
Eric's Raider knowledge.
It was appreciated.
Yeah. No, it's like I just have a unhealthy fucking. I guess like I devote way too much time to watching my sports teams, despite the fact that they've been nothing but bring me pain my entire life, so they're just seared into my brain.
Well, you know, that's kind of hard to say because you're a Warriors fan. That's more than most franchises already, especially in your lifetime, only 22, 21.
But take away the Warriors, and what success have I ever enjoyed as a sports fan? I'm an A's, Raiders, and Penn State fan.
Okay,
none of those teams have ever won a championship.
Are you really that big of a Penn State fan? Like, where's that even come from? How do you become a Penn State fan?
My dad's like a diehard. Was like a diehard Joe Paterno Penn State fan. Didn't age well, did it? But he's like when I was growing up, he would talk about like his favorite school was Penn State and shit. Like from like when he was a kid. So he would always tell me that. And I used to play like NCAA football and shit, and I would just do dynasty mode with either Penn State or San Jose State. Go Spartans, Harvard of the West. But I guess the fandom stuck. But I mean, I don't know. He's like he never watched the games like when I was like a kid and shit. Maybe when he was a kid, but that
so
was
like when all that scandal was going on, was that just like an awkward time?
I mean, no. Well, not really. Well, first off, when that shit went down, that shit was crazy. But at the same time, it's like he didn't really watch the game, so it's like even though all that stuff was going down, it's like like it wasn't like it was the end. Like if that shit happened to the Raiders, you know what I mean? Like that would be a bigger deal.
Well, I mean, a lot of stuff has happened to the Raiders, so you've thoroughly been through some crazy sports moments. This
Yeah, it's been a
series.
wild year. I mean, our best receiver killed somebody. Our coach got fired for racial, gender, and
All of
there's
the
probably some
above.
other
I'm sure there's so much more.
some prejudiced behavior in there. It's been a fucking nuts season, in all honesty. But no, I mean, I used to obsess about this shit when I was a kid. Like when I was a kid, I would read NBC Bay
Articles.
Area. I would just fucking I would you know how kids will go home and play outside. I didn't do that. I would go home and load up Just Blog Baby, which is like an old ass
Forum.
blog Raider site that I wonder if they're still around, dude. Because I used to watch them. We were bad, like the 8-8s and the 8-8 era, the back-to-back 8-8 seasons, 2010, 2011, and even a bit before that. Yeah, dude, I was fucking 8 years old reading what are the best off-season additions the Raiders could make. And the thing about sucking is your team always has a perennial lottery pick. It's constant, so it's a bit more exciting because it's easier to invest time when your team is picking second, and a couple of those guys will probably turn out to be stars, versus your team picks fucking 28th now, which the Warriors do constantly. It's not as exciting.
Yeah, but then you get excited over things like we were talking about last time when you pick up someone as little as Otto Porter. We got Iguodala back, and it ends up being a big deal.
Yeah,
you get excited about that type of shit.
But it's exciting.
It's not the same.
Yeah, it's never as exciting as that's the cool thing about getting Kuminga and Moody this year is that's exciting. I like that we got Iggy, and I like that we got Porter and Bjelica and those guys. But the conversation you could have around those names will never be as enticing as something to say, fuck, dude, we just took Wiseman at 2. What can Wiseman turn into? What could Kuminga turn into? Will he be the next Giannis? Does he have that potential? It's a bit more. You're not a Kuminga guy, huh? You're not.
Okay, well, I wouldn't compare anyone you just named to Giannis, bro. Let's relax.
I know. I said Kuminga.
Yeah, I remember when they were saying that about Wiseman. I was like, dude, let's take a step back.
No, chill out. That they never said Wiseman was going to be Embiid.
No, you said Giannis first of all. You didn't say Embiid.
I'm talking about. I said Kuminga, and if he has that, I'm not saying it's true, but that's the irrational shit you tell yourself when you're speculating on guys you might draft. It's more exciting.
It's because of the potential. I mean, when we took Trey Lance, obviously it was exciting. I honestly, in hindsight, I remember everybody was so pissed off about the thought of getting Mac Jones, and then you look at him now.
And he's 9-4,
and he looks like the best quarterback. I mean, to be fair,
no.
What?
He's not. Look.
No, that's what I was about to say. To be fair, he looks like the most NFL ready, but does he have the highest upside?
He looks to his credit, I think a lot of people wrote him off that he wouldn't even be a starter caliber player.
Yeah, I think that one viral picture went out where he was looking fat.
He has the beer. Yeah, he had the beer belly and shit. But it's a lot of you motherfuckers have a beer belly too. You don't fucking blast your shit on social media. Yeah, I think a lot of the thing was look at this guy, he's unathletic. He plays for Bama, and it doesn't help that Bama has a history of
bad quarterbacks,
just kind of game managers. Yeah, game managers. AJ McCarron is a prime example of a Bama quarterback. He won 2 national championships and went to a 3rd. Exactly. But he was never a sexy name, you know. No one really hyped up AJ McCarron. He was just a winner, and he played good. But that's not exciting if you're all those teams are coming off a bad season, losing season, so it's not as exciting. Yeah, and I'm not saying he looks good, but are we going to act like fucking Lance in the circumstances that he's been in where Kyle doesn't want to play him, or Lawrence with Jacksonville? And there's one missing on, huh? Isn't there one more? Who went 1?
Well, the thing is, we could have took, like Rodrigo just said in the chat, we could have took Jones at 12. Because remember, we traded up.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know, if you
Didn't Mac go 10, though? Mac went 10, no?
I mean, yeah, tic-tac. I mean, you could probably find a way to get up to, not all the way up to 2. Yeah. You know, the difference between 2 and 9 is
they might have heard that New England would take them, so maybe they go for 9 or whatever. They do something for or Fields. So, yeah. I do it's been annoying, dude.
That archetype of quarterback kind of left a sour taste in our mouth with Jimmy G. You know, that pocket passer, unathletic, kind of game manager, like you were saying, type of guy. Seemed like another Mac Jones. So I think the fan bases would have been really pissed off, but it doesn't look like. Oh, Mac went 15th actually. But
Oh yeah,
anyways, it didn't look like everybody wanted Fields. They were okay with Lance, but the last thing they wanted was Mac Jones. But I mean, Mac Jones looks good. He's accurate.
it's good. Yeah,
It's not, and this whole thing about him not having an arm is kind of blown out of proportion. Like the dude can throw the ball. He's
no, he can.
legitimate. Yeah, and look at the weapons he has in New England. It really isn't much, and he's making do with
Their
it.
defense is pretty good though.
Their defense is very good, but he's also dropping some dimes. Like he's throwing really good
Yeah,
balls. He's playing well.
he's playing good ball. I'm a known Mac Jones hater. Like I wake up and I hate him. So I'm not gonna front that I always like the guy. But I mean, yeah, he's played good, and I mean, it's hard to argue with the results at this point. But I'm still gonna say I feel like it's unfair to like say he's been the most like pro ready because I just some of those circumstances that everyone else has been tossed into isn't very good.
Chicago.
Jacksonville and the Niners. Although I
Oh,
do think the Niners.
I mean, I think Trevor Lawrence has quite literally the worst coach of all time with Urban
You don't
Meyer.
like Meyer?
What is
Right.
Urban Meyer doing? He's not calling plays. He's not calling defensive plays. He's literally just a head fake.
He's getting grinded out at a fucking
Yeah,
Chili's on
he's literally
Saturday nights
just
on his bye week.
there to be there. Like I
He's a
think there's a
yeah.
0% chance he's not gone this offseason.
A lot of those like big like names coming out of college often don't pan out. And I don't mean like there a lot most coaches come from college. I don't mean that, but like the big names like Saban didn't pan out in Miami. Urban hasn't exactly been great. Kelly didn't pan out when he got to Philly and the Niners. A lot of like big figurehead coaches with like a huge name. I mean, Harbaugh did pan out, to be fair, now that I'm thinking about it. But, shit went south towards the end there. So, yeah, I don't think – I think Jacksonville just wanted a huge rebuild. And it reminds me of kind of how Davis, how he wanted Gruden. Like, yeah, he wanted Gruden because he thought he could still coach. But I also think that he wanted, like, a big figurehead, like a big media name for, like, a franchise that you're trying to reinvent. Like, they're both – it's a similar type of thing where Jacksonville's trying to, like, reinvigorate their franchise because – they fell off a fucking cliff. Like they had the AFC Championship. They played New England pretty tough, and then it's been fucking downhill from there. And I mean, they did double down on Bortles, so I guess that's kind of their fault.
Yeah.
But that was just, that was the tail. Like so much shit happened with that team, dude.
That feels like it was a century ago that they were a playoff team. Not only just a playoff team, but they were literally a deep playoff team.
AFC Championship.
Yeah.
They were up on New England, dude. They were up like a good amount in that AFC Championship. But so much shit happened to that team. Plus, Lesney retired. Bortles fell off a cliff. Fournette fell out with management. The coaching staff had like kind of their relationship sour with everybody. Telvin Smith fucking retired. Like so many other guys.
You had Allen Robinson on that team.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a lot of guys. Which is just crazy to think about now because, I mean, Blake Bortles leading a team to a deep playoff run just sounds insane.
Good game manager,
Yeah, I mean, really, it really comes down to the defense at the end of the day. But back to the point we're making, I wouldn't classify Mike Jones in that same sense where the defense is just carrying him to.
No, I don't think. I think he's had performances like better. I think the biggest issues with Bortles was like bonehead interceptions. And I mean, Mac does have some interceptions now, but I wouldn't say they're as like egregious as Bortles was because Bortles had like those what the fuck, like Jimmy's weird though. Jimmy has good moments, and you think like fuck, this guy's really starting to dart, and then like he just has like he's always prone for like one or two turnovers that don't make sense, and it kind of dampens.
Yeah, even if he like ends the game without any interceptions, there'll be like a couple balls, like one or two. Where the defense just drops a flat out interception that should have been an easy turnover. Yeah. Like it's almost like they'll run the ball, they'll work off a play action, he'll get some nice crossing route, 20-yard pass. But the point I was gonna make watching that game over, I recorded it. I think he only had one pass with over like 15-yard airtime, and it was the first touchdown to George Kittle. Other than that, just about everything is check downs, slants across the middle, intermediate, is like a stretch.
You
Like
don't think that's
absolutely
the
every.
offense though? I don't know what kind of offense
I
Shanny
mean,
runs, but
it's yeah, it's the offense, but I mean, if
you think
you think if Patrick Mahomes was our quarterback, that would be the same case. Like it also has to do
yeah.
with he knows what he's working with and
Are
he
you
knows what's
still
going to
as
work.
are you still as high on Shanahan as you were?
Yeah, I definitely am. I mean, you have Jimmy G throwing a bunch of they're letting him do what's going to win them a game,
Hmm.
and they should have won against Seattle. I mean, respectfully, if you, I mean, I'm not one for excuses. Obviously, you're going to work with who you have out there, but I mean, no
Yeah.
Debo, no Fred Warner, still no Mo Hurst, a bunch of
Niners.
yeah, a bunch of core injuries. And I mean, if you put the ball in Jimmy G's hands to win against Russell Wilson, I'm gonna take Russell Wilson 90% of the time,
But
even
a
on a
very bad Seattle team that
yeah,
just
very bad.
that scored 0 points 2 weeks ago
Yeah,
against a Green Bay defense that isn't very good.
there's only so many George Kittle tight end screen passes you could run to get
Do you
down the
think that they were
field.
using Kittle enough like earlier in the year? I know he
I
got
mean,
hurt
he
for a bit.
was hurt, and
I know he
I
got
think
banged up.
a lot of his value for the Niners is blocking because they kind of use him as just like an extra lineman a lot of the time. And you could definitely tell the difference when he's playing just the running lanes that are open because he's one of the few tight ends who could actually go one on one with the defensive end and just allow him not a chip block and good second level, but literally just one on one. Go ahead, take him on, and then you could use your other guard tackle for a double team or split up to the next level. So yeah, you could definitely tell, and I definitely think Elijah Mitchell is the truth, and he has a lot to do with that because we had him with
It's
Sermon, and Sermon didn't do much, but Elijah Mitchell just you could tell when someone's a more effective runner when
yeah.
they have.
I didn't watch that game. It's your running back core. It's hard to gauge like who's the guy because there's been so many injuries.
Oh, it's definitely Elijah Mitchell. Every time he's healthy, he's the guy. Sermon is pretty
You
much
think they bring
completely
back
washed
Mostert
out.
or no?
I mean, Mostert's out for the year,
Yeah, I'm talking about next
so
year.
I mean, I think he's under contract next year still. I believe he got
I like
paid.
Mostert a lot.
Yeah, he's really good. He's got some game
It's
changing
never been his
speed.
play.
And I
Like that's the
mean,
thing.
Mitchell's a diamond in the rough, so I mean, you're not going to say no to that. You know, he was a 6th round pick.
Are you a Jeff Hasty stan?
No,
Jermichael
he's
Hasty? Is it
he's
Jermichael Hasty?
he's
I'm
cool
thinking of Jeff
depth.
Wilson.
He's
Yeah. There's been so many running backs in the past 2 years.
yeah, Niner
Fucking
running backs are kind of just interchangeable at this
yeah.
point. But obviously, right now, if we don't have Mostert, then good good on having Elijah Mitchell. And honestly, Mitchell looks like he could be another type of because Mostert was the same thing. He was washed out. He was not given any more shots.
Yeah,
We're with the
most of it's
Niners.
older
Yeah,
too. And
yeah.
it's
He's
funny,
like 30s.
he hit his peak like 5 or 6 years into his career after like numerous like late preseason cuts and shit. Like he couldn't stick with anybody.
Yep.
And then he kind of found it. I mean, you guys are 6-6 right now. Do you like where would you gauge your season? Like, are you still confident that like you'll make playoffs?
Well, I
Because it's
mean,
funny.
it's
The
very
Raiders,
much like you guys. You have control of your own destiny, right?
yeah,
Before this last game, I mean, obviously injuries aside, I would have said, okay, yeah, Niners are in a better spot than the Raiders are. I feel like Niners are kind of trending uphill, Raiders are kind of trending downhill.
yeah.
Now it's kind of hard to say. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't say the Raiders are trending uphill because
I don't think I don't
yeah,
think you can say that.
you really can't.
It's too
But
inconsistent.
this is the time they need to win. And obviously, that extra playoff spot is going to be a big deal for both those teams. They're in a very
God
similar.
bless
Yeah.
the fucking mad lad who decided to give a third wild card spot. I hope he's doing well.
I mean, I
Yeah,
could definitely see both teams making playoffs. So if that was a long-winded answer. Yes, I could definitely see both teams making playoffs.
I mean, there's 5 games left. Raiders have Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos, and
Yeah.
2 other ones. Who are the 2 other ones? I like how I literally just got a message that just said, "Hey Eric, the Raiders are ass." Like in the middle of this fucking pod.
Like
That's a tough
non-associated.
tough fucking schedule, dude. Like you're asking to go and you have to beat KC in Arrowhead. You did it last year, but obviously things have changed from last year, especially where we were at. Like that time of year, you got to beat them in Arrowhead, Chargers you got in Vegas, and Broncos you have in Vegas. But I mean, I wouldn't even call it a home field advantage. The Raiders haven't played very well at home this year.
Yeah.
That's fucking. They lost to Washington at home. Lost to who else? We lost to KC at home. There's a few other ones. I mean, they beat Baltimore at home, but still, like, it's been so inconsistent. And that's a brutal fucking schedule.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the Niners have it a little bit easier, to be honest. We got Bengals, who are obviously tough, but they're kind of like one of those teams that I thought they were better than they are, but they're really just 6-6. Like, they'll look amazing one week, and then they'll look mediocre next week.
Playing
Like,
the Steelers twice a year really does something to you.
yeah, the mediocrity just kind of rubbed off, at least for this year. But Atlanta, Tennessee, no Derrick Henry. Houston should be a free one, and then the Rams end the year. So that Rams game is probably going to be very important to our.
Although to Shanahan's credit, if there's anyone he's played perfectly since he joined, it's been the Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what he has the fucking secret sauce, dude.
Yeah, the meme, all the Niner pages that.
Yeah.
Shanny owns McVay.
Yeah, but then he's like Seattle has always been like a fucking sore spot. I mean, last year they won the one at they won at the goal line. No, that they go 1-1 or did they split it?
Yeah, 1-1 I believe.
And the year before that was what?
Oh, that was 1-1 again. I think we actually that was the year we went. I know we've won one against the Seahawks, like even when we were horrible, because Richard Sherman, his first year, I know won in Seattle, I believe, and it was
but getting swept by the Seattle team this year, it's just hard to fathom because the offense, even with Russ, is like so stagnant, like consistently, and maybe they just match up well, and also Josh Norman's is fucking buns. I guess that doesn't help either.
Hey, B-Man said they gotta stop dropping the F-bomb.
To me?
B-Man, let me give you mod.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but yeah, anyways, like I was saying, where were we at? Sorry, B-Man completely threw me off.
Yeah, did you watch any of that Raider game?
No, actually, I didn't. Can you give me your analysis?
Yeah, like, here's the deal. Heineke's not good, like, at all. And
at all?
I hope. I don't like Heineke. Like, this loss is ugly, and I don't think you could put it on the defense. It's just Derek didn't play very good, dude. I have issues with the play calling and everything, but I do think he was a bit too skittish, and he checked down way too much, and he missed some guys, and it bit us in the ass, dude. I mean, you only score. It was 16-14? I think that was the final, no?
Yeah, it was a close one.
Nah, and like you go like there's no fucking excuse to lose that game, dude. Like you go into it, you're in a prime slot, you beat Dallas, and you go in and you fumble against Washington. Like I don't think Washington is very good at all. They do have the win streak, but they're pretty banged up on injuries.
Yeah, the running back quite literally has some broken shins, my boy Gibby.
Yeah, and their offense hasn't been able to move much. Most of their wins have been like tight, contested games. And you go in there and they just laid an egg, dude. And I guess that's been the story of the season, where they can't really find their footing. And it's like they're doomed, man. Like in the mid mark of the season, and like okay, hold on, I have a comment coming back from somebody, and we can go to the Dallas game, right? And you could say that Dallas was injured. Fair, but there's a lot of holes in the Raiders' offense, especially on the offensive end. Waller got hurt in the second quarter. Ruggs is out for the season. Their O-line is quite literally patchwork. Like that, the Raiders have been pretty banged up injuries, and they still found a way to win. The offense looked good, and they were going deep a lot. And then you go into this game, and they look so much more reserved. Like they just couldn't find a footing on O. And a lot of it is the run game. And they even did what a lot of people have called for this game, is where they kind of abandoned the run. You know, they said it's just not working. Let's just pass, and they still couldn't get anything going. And I mean, missing Waller hurts, but this felt like the type of game you have to win.
And the whole idea of signing Deshaun Jackson was kind of like replace that role Ruggs had, right? So I mean, has it just not been effective, or is it just not the same?
No, he had a few good looks, Deshaun, and they've broken down film and everything, and like there was a couple times where Carr probably maybe should have gone for it. But yeah, he didn't go for him, man. He had one catch the entire game. Like he just didn't go
So
for
you're
him.
putting this more on Derek Carr's shoulders.
Yeah, I don't think DC played good. And even if you look at some of the film breakdowns from this game, he didn't play very good.
See,
But I don't know, man.
that's the problem I have with Derek Carr. Why I could see why a lot of fans, like my boy Al, Beef Boss, gets very frustrated with him because he knows he
Yeah.
can perform. Like a lot of
Uh-huh.
fans know that he can be good. He can get you at the hump. I'll say he can get you at the hump, but he just cannot. He doesn't seem to be able to get you over the hump.
Yeah, and like
He'll have a stretch of games where he plays amazing, and out of the blue they'll play a team like Washington, and he'll lay an egg. You know, it's just kind of confusing.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's fair. And some of the criticism of Carr, I think, is like it's a bit much, where it's like it kind of piles on. I think it's a bit irrational sometimes, especially from the fan base, because maybe that's just how the Raider fan base rolls. But this game really felt like it was probably his worst performance of the year. Like I'd say the Cincy game wasn't very good, but he got it going kind of in the second half. This game didn't feel. I thought he was gonna like find an extra gear and get it. He even missed in the last game, the last play on O. He missed Zay. We ended up kicking a field goal and it put us up by 1, and then he missed Zay by just a yard, and it looked like he was going to have it. And if he gets it, I mean, it's probably game over because you got to Washington has to march down and get a TD. But yeah, I mean, that's the story of the season. Like they can't seem to get out of it.
If you're a playoff team, how are you going out there? I don't know, losing a low scoring.
Like I don't think this team is consistent enough to even want to see him in the playoffs because I feel like they'd lay an egg. But speaking,
earlier in the season, you were saying, "Oh, this is the Raiders' best defense in years."
It is. Like this game isn't on the defense. The defense played really well, and the reason why, like, and the thing with Heineke too is like there were some opportunities where the defense might have gotten burnt. I didn't passer despite the like. I know they're on the 4-game win streak and everything, and they're rolling right now. But I do think that there's a good amount of opportunities where they could have put it on our defense more. Probably got a couple more points. Good QB probably makes. But I mean, I like his story and everything. It's inspiring for what he's done in the XFL, like being a backup and everything, and going as far as he did. I mean, tip of the cap. But I mean, are you even big on Washington, or they're at 4 straight right now? Do you think they could really?
I think Washington is a legitimate contender? No, I put them in that same lump of teams.
Do you think they'll make playoffs though?
They're like the football team reminds me of like the Denver Broncos. They remind me of the Broncos a lot.
They played Brady pretty well. They played him well last year in the playoffs, and they beat Tampa. I mean, that's a good.
Yeah, they definitely play up to Tampa. Yeah. They play up to Tampa.
I think they just got that secret sauce, man. Like they just like that matchup. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, but that's another thing. Like some teams just match up well, you know. Like just because a team goes out and beats one team doesn't mean that they're better than every team that has a similar record to that team. In my opinion, this is something I believe we've argued about before.
They're 6-6 right now, right?
Yeah.
And Dallas is what 8-4.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But Dallas whooped on them pretty bad, right? Earlier this year.
And to be fair, Dallas has been a bit banged up.
Oh, boo-hoo. Like, man, I always hear.
I mean, I'm not a Dallas fan. Like, I'm just being objective.
I know, but every team at this point in the year is banged up. The only exception.
I'm just saying you could attribute some losses to. I mean, hopefully down the stretch you get more healthy. You know. That's why it's most important. They say the season starts right now. You got all your guys coming back. You're in your end of the year stretch. The real will separate from the middle of the pack. This is where I think middle of the pack teams like the Broncos or
I can't Washington, even call them. Yeah.
Maybe lower. There's still there's a lump. Lower, middle. They're separated.
They're coming on as we're getting closer to the stretch. I think even Denver, they started hot. They kind of fell. They lost. They went 3-0, lost 3 straight, and then they kind of picked it back up. They had that Dallas win, which is nice, but they've been up and down. But I don't think Denver. I think Washington has way more potential to even do anything than Denver does. like right now, if they make it
Yeah,
to the
I
play.
don't see either team going very far, to be
You sound
honest.
cynical. Do you think it's a conflict of interest to you, considering that San Francisco and Washington might be vying for the same last wild card spot?
No,
Like, if you guys played each other right now, Washington, San Francisco, how do you think that game goes?
like next week.
Yeah, next week
Yeah,
matchup. How do you think that game goes?
I mean, I would think the Niners would win. I would hope the Niners would win. They should win. But I mean, Washington isn't a terrible team. I'm not saying that by any means. Like they have a good defense. It seems that Gibby that bye week really gave him a chance to get some fresh legs. He's been effective for the last two weeks. He's been really good, or actually
Yeah,
3 weeks really. I think he's had or if I'm not wrong, like over 100 yards all purpose the past three
he played
weeks.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was kind of confused when you said that a lot of the Raider fans wanted Jacobs to not get the ball anymore or just abolish
I
the
don't think
run
it's
game.
that. I think going heavy on the run. Like, if you looked at the Raiders' offense, exception of this past week, they've been like hell bent on running the ball twice and then like short to intermediate passes. I get the logic about trying to pick up 5 and you go for 5 on third down. Like that's and that's a lot of Gruden's thing as well. But the only issue is like the O line has been so garbage up to this point that like it's kind of put them in a hole where they're not getting anything, and then you're facing 3rd and 10s, you're facing losing yards, you're facing 3rd and 12s, and things like that. And I don't even put that on Jacobs. Like I know you talked about the whole yards per carry thing, and you've used that like you're a Josh Jacobs hater and all that, and I get it.
I mean, I'm not
But
a
like
hater.
if you've watched every game, I do think the numbers do him a disservice because I don't think he's nowhere near as bad as of a back as his yards per carry are.
I mean, yeah, obviously, you could say the same thing about a lot of running backs who have poor O lines
Can
though,
you though?
who have done better than
Can you?
3.4 yards per rush
Can you though? Like, give me an
with that
example of a
amount
back.
of volume.
An example of a back that you think has performed despite a bad O line. Like just recent. It doesn't have to be this season, but like the past couple of years.
I mean, I guess I'd have to do some research.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's harder than I think it's a lot. Like even the running backs where people say like they don't speak about their O lines, like running backs who have historically put up like 1,000-yard seasons. Like they're still serviceable if you look at just the history of like good backs. Like I do think there's a point where your O line's so bad that there's only so much you could do. Because I'm not talking. It's like, oh, he's not hitting holes. It's like there's no point. There's no type of penetration in the front, or they're getting blown back. And you're from the
Here,
moment.
let me give you an example, man. Let me give you an example that's really gonna break it down for you. And I feel like,
merch.
no, this is actually a Pablo Mendoza shirt. I'm not too sure, to be honest with you.
I think that's Post Malone. It's a cycle, bro. I think that's. Let me see.
Is it?
That's interesting.
Shout out, Pablo. Yeah, I never. All right, but I have a great real world example for you that I think will really just set the record straight, and you'll really get a grasp for this. All right, so in high school I was on this football team, right? And
Oh no!
listen, don't ask questions, but we
All
had
right,
a
go
running
ahead.
back, right? We had offensive line. We were playing tough comp. We were playing good D lines. We had offensive line that, if you asked other teams, they would probably say our offensive line wasn't great, right? Like there was obvious shortcomings. Let's say running back we had playing. You could say that the line wasn't amazing, or you could say that he wasn't, getting the job done. So crunch time, we decided to make a change at running back. We put in someone who was a bit more explosive and a bit more.
I know the exact like scenario, like game that I'm referring to right now. But
And
yeah, keep
he
going.
went out there, and the O line looked a lot better.
Matt.
Uh,
We're talking about high school football. I'm talking about
I
professional.
just think there's some guys out there who can
There is,
make a
there
line look
is.
better than it is,
But when
and
you're
can
playing at
make things happen that aren't there.
But when you're playing at such a high level and the skill gap is as big as it is with our O line and most defensive lines they run into, it's a problem. Like this isn't like there's things to exploit when you're not playing at the highest level. Like this is a bit different.
I think we could both agree that Saquon, let's say he was better his rookie year than he is right now, right?
Yeah.
Probably the same talent threshold on that offensive line as now. As it hasn't got any better, hasn't got any worse. If anything, it was worse. I mean, yeah, they have like maybe one guy, but they're starting like some terrible offensive line like Nate Soldiers.
What do you like? Someone just mentioned like an example of supporting you would be like McCaffrey on the Panthers and Swift on the Lions. But if we go to the Swift on the Lions example, where has Swift's yards come from? The most part,
probably either one. Most of his yards, truthfully, have been 1 yard breakoffs or passing game yards. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think if you look at Swift, I don't think it's that he's not explosive or he's a bad running back. I just think that when you're dealing with like patchwork offense, like it's harder to get your chunks of carries.
I mean, obviously, it's hard to say compare
like to run
Swift to Josh Jacobs because they're in two different their usage rates are so different. Like you don't have Jacobs getting as much targets, and you don't have Swift getting as much carries.
I wish they would give Jacobs more targets. So they gave him but he could run in open space.
Yeah, like, Swift is getting like 9 to 10 in some games. It's a difference.
Yeah, but we could bounce off NFL talk for now. But you went to the Suns Warriors game. How was it?
It was good, man. I really thought more people were gonna be talking shit when I went, but the only person who told me anything was, first of all, when I got there, they were super nice. They're like, "Oh, you from Arizona?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm not, man."
But, should have lied.
I should have. Yeah. After that, I actually started lying. I was like, "Oh yeah, I just flew in from Arizona. I'm from Scottsdale."
Tucson.
No, but anyways, so super nice, good seats, good game. It was cool till the fourth, and they pulled away. Whatever, it is what it is. Yeah, blah blah blah. Anyways, we're leaving the place, and I'm wearing my DeAndre Ayton jersey. Honestly, unlucky ass jersey. Every time I've worn that jersey, they fucking lost. But this old man taps me on the shoulder, like, "Hey, DA, they're giving you a lot of calls out there, buddy."
They were.
You could make your free throws though. I was like, yeah, man.
Drake played him well. Yeah. So nobody told you anything, huh? Like even after the game, like on social media or anything?
Oh, on social media, I mean, just some clown, but I mean,
some clown. Anyway, let's just. Did we talk after the first game on last Tuesday? We didn't, huh? We haven't. No, I think we did. We did one.
We did. Episode. We did right after.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I didn't rub it in your face. I was really quiet about it, you know. And you posted on Twitter. You were texting me. You're off the chain, like, "Oh, dude, you're GTA."
We were talking about the game.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We were talking the whole time.
When you get 6 unresponded to text messages, it's a bit of a one-sided conversation.
No, it wasn't
anyways, besides the point.
Why didn't you respond? Like, we need some context.
I was at the game.
Nah. Because when it was a close game the entire time, there's plenty of responses on your end. When did it dry up?
When the game got serious. When
the game got out of hand, they pulled away.
No, when it got serious. Hey, my boy J Sal says Celtics or Lakers tonight. Who do we got? I'll let you go first, and I'll answer that because I have.
That's on TNA. Is that on ESPN?
Yeah, it's on like 30 seconds.
Give me Celtics.
$100 to blow from Big Bird 351332. $100 to blow. Don't let me down. Who are you taking? 3 minutes locking that bet. Yeah.
Lakers.
Lakers or Celtics?
Are they in TD Garden or are they in Crypto Arena?
Crypto Arena. That's so weird to say. I can get that information for you right now. They're going to be in. Yeah, I don't know. Pick a team. Yeah, they're at Staples Center. They're at Staples.
You mean crypto arena?
Yeah.
Give me. And everyone's playing, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Give me Celtics.
Really? Can I get a reason?
I think they're a bit deeper. I'm not
That's
big
a
on this. Like,
little surprising. I mean, obviously the Lakers haven't been great, but the Celtics really haven't been too good either.
they're probably the two most underperforming teams right now in their respective
Yeah, and
conferences.
especially, I mean, I don't know. Jason Tatum specifically hasn't really been that good, but I'm kind of siding with you. I feel like this is going to be a game where Jason Tatum kind of bounces back. You know, how it shows prime time. He's on like 3 straight games, averaging 30 points per game.
Yeah.
I think you're catching the Celtics at the wrong time. I got Celtics tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna lock that in. So Brian, Big Bird, Jalen Brown. Oh, Jalen Brown's out.
Yeah, I'd still go Boston.
Yeah, I'm
Jalen's
actually gonna
been,
fade. I'm actually gonna fade. Jalen out, go Lakers. Jalen out,
Jalen's
go
been out
Lakers.
though, no?
Yo, appreciate the follow, bro. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard to do one superstar against. You're gonna have LeBron, AD both playing. That alone is gonna be a lot of firepower to get through. But yeah, you're right about the deep being a deeper
Is it a
team.
lot? Is it a lot to get through though? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean it's just kind of tough because
How can we say it's a lot to get through when your team's like floating at 500?
their team is also floating at 500.
Yeah, but you don't think they're a bit evenly matched?
I
Brown's
do.
been out for a while. They've lost to far worse teams.
They're just gonna have to overperform. I'm gonna take the healthy team against the injured team in an even matchup. That's my logic.
Yeah. And I haven't watched Boston this much this year, so if I'm wrong, sorry in advance.
You wanna
Yeah,
you want,
no.
you want to do a cheeky little $10 bet on this on our own right here? I got
Like
Lakers. Yeah,
us? Yeah,
yeah.
I'll do it.
All right, locking in.
You're taking Lakers, right?
Yep.
Okay, but
All right, bet. Got it. Yeah, but back to the Suns. I mean, it was a good game. It was a good game, man. And a girl talked shit to us while we were out. They were like, "Oh, Suns suck." Or like, oh, "Fuck you."
define the shit talk though? Was it disrespectful?
No, it wasn't at all. It was
Oh,
like
okay.
it was whatever.
As someone who's gone to the Coliseum like too many times to count, I've definitely encountered my share of like disrespect. But at least you didn't get to that point. But I
No,
mean,
the Warriors fans were actually pretty crazy. They were like, when Chris Paul was shooting free throws, like, "Fuck you,
yeah,
Chris Paul." Like,
that Chris Paul hate runs deep though.
you
Like you have
wish
to
you
understand.
were Steph. Like,
Do you think
it was
Steph's taken?
getting.
Do you think Steph's taken Paul's legacy? That he's filled what everyone expected CP3 to do on like the kind of latter half of his career.
No, what are you talking about?
You don't think so, really?
Wait, you
I would
said
argue. I would argue that when Chris Paul went to the Clippers and Blake was turning into a superstar, the expectation was
I think you're wrong because I think Steph has completely washed out of the water anything CB3 ever was expected to do because Steph has been so much better.
yeah, I
Because
agree.
Steph has
But I
been
do think
so generationally like groundbreaking.
I think the gap is huge at this point. I don't think you could argue anything. But I do
Yeah.
think there was a point if you go back to like 2013, around that era, the expectation was that the Clippers would become the next big like Western Conference powerhouse, and they
Oh
were
yeah,
kind of
no doubt.
It's just
Especially
funny
when
how
they won that the
funny.
Clippers won that series against the Warriors right in the playoffs.
Yeah, CP3 fouled them on the 3-pointer though. Fuck CP3. But yeah, they went to 7 games. That was a rough series, dude. And then Bogut got hurt, like right when the series started. And then what was the game? Excuse my f bomb, Brandon. What was the game? I think it was Game 4. They were in Oracle, where they came back at the very end. Steph got shoved as he went up for the 3. They didn't call it, and they were down 2. I'd have to go back and look at that.
Yeah.
But no, Suns play good. I want to see that matchup again when they're healthy.
Christmas
Like
time
that's the only
you'll
downside.
probably get a healthy
Book will
matchup.
be back. You know?
I'm sure he will. I mean, I talked to him the other day. Like we were just chatting it up. He was just telling me
Oh
that he
yeah,
wanted to.
totally, bro.
He wasn't really too hurt. He was just kind of wanted a couple days off, and he wanted to throw a couple, pictures on League Fits. So he want to get some sideline shots.
That's
And,
tough.
yeah.
That's tough. Well, let's talk moves. Do you think the Suns do anything or no?
I hope so. I was telling you last time, Thad Young would be a nice pickup. I think he'd
Oh,
be a
they just
nice
played him.
forward off the bench.
San Antonio has
Yeah, you guys lost to San Antonio. We beat them.
that was a sloppy ass game, dude. Yeah, it was ugly. I was pissed. They were down like 20, and they were getting cooked the entire game, and then they kind of flipped it, and then went up 3, and they go down on the other end. There's like a minute 30 left, and they foul him. Guy hits the first free throw, misses the second, and it gets a long rebound to I think Derek White, and he hits a 3. It was a 4-point turnaround.
Yeah, Derek White is legit. I just don't like the thought of.
I like Murray too.
The only issue I have right now with the Suns is I don't like the thought of having Landry Shamet be like our spark plug, like off the bench. Like when you got no book, CP isn't getting it going. Aiton,
Yeah,
like
I don't even think it's fair.
outside of that starting five, like our bench spark plug being Shamet, I'm not a big fan of that.
Wouldn't you say Payne is that guy though?
I mean, I guess, but he's also our backup point guard. You know,
He shoots a lot.
he shoots a lot.
Obviously, that the game against us, like I don't expect him to shoot 1 for 16 or whatever that start was. Like for the most part, that was kind of just like a historically poor performance.
I mean, truthfully, I'm not too fond of Campaign being our off the bench spark plug either. Like,
nah, I mean, I get it, but like, look, he was good enough to get you guys that far last year.
No, yeah, I like Campaign a lot. I just feel like.
But do you really think Thaddeus Young is like the right? I think you'd want to swing a bit bigger now if you're looking for more bench scoring quickly.
I mean, him for bench scoring, not exactly, but just for depth, he would be
But
nice.
Dude, if you look at like, did you see that report about Indy in the Pacers?
Yeah, dude, Karis LeVert.
Yeah, but what are you willing to give up for him? That's the thing.
I don't know, a second.
Because no, but why? Like, why would Indy take that though? I don't think Indy takes a second for LeVert. That was their headliner.
They're just dumping a contract. I don't know. Give him a.
Is he got a big contract?
Frank Kaminsky in a second.
That is so disrespectful. You know that's disrespectful. That's like the Warriors offering Looney in a second, bro. Like, don't even take it. No, with Indy, the thing is, I know Sabonis and Turner were on the market, and like that's a big thing in the Warriors. The Warriors like fandom, like the discourse around. A lot of people want Turner because obviously there's. Yeah, and that's where I'm kind of struggling. I like Turner, but some of the packages that I'm seeing for him just don't make sense, and I don't think management wants to let go of any of the young guys. I think LeComp's big on Kuminga. I think he likes Wiseman a lot too, and Moody as well. Probably he would be the most expendable. But if you're a team that's giving away like pretty much all your talent, you don't want just Moody. You want a Kuminga or you want a Wiseman. Like that's pretty much a guarantee if you're trading one of those guys. I don't think management would do it, but there's another part of me that like you are. Look at the Warriors core. Steph's about to be 30. Steph's 33. Clay's 31. Dre's 31. How many more years can you realistically expect to compete for a chip? Like this year is prime. Like I think most people would agree that they're right in the hunt of it. Like they're amongst the top teams to maybe win a chip this year. But how many more years do you have? And the thing with Wiseman is that he's coming off his injury, but they're taking it slow with him, which I get. But at the same time, it's like when Wiseman comes back, do you really expect him to be this big difference maker? I do think from like a finishing standpoint, it might be nice to have someone a bit more explosive coming off pick and rolls and things like that. But at the same time, defensively, last year we saw he had struggles and he had limitations. But I get it because he was 19 and he only played 2 college games, and it's kind of tough to just throw you out there. But you haven't been playing games this entire time. You played, like 40 games. You've been out, and there's already been signs of like pick and roll defense and things like that, where he's probably just not ready. And I think a lot of that comes from game experience. But is this the year that you want to just let him get experience? Like this is a year you want to chip. And I think management thinks that too. But I don't think you
would trade Wiseman for
Turner.
Is like Turner. I mean, Turner is not like a. It's not like that's he's a great defender, but I mean he's been in the league for what 6 years.
19.
Yeah, I mean
he's a good shocker. He has a bit of a one shot.
He's very very passive on the block. He's very soft in the block. is what
Well,
I
he
was
doesn't
gonna
have like
say.
a typical post-up game or anything like that, which I get. Like that's the thing. I think his defense is the most appealing. Just finishing, um, just layups and things along those lines. I
Yeah,
don't think anyone.
I think his finishing leaves a lot to be desired as well. I would definitely stick with Wiseman in that situation, but I could see your logic behind not doing that because I could agree that
I
he's
don't
not going to
expect.
be he's going to be pretty much still like a rookie because he pretty much is still a rookie, and you're on a championship team. Just how much trust are you going to put in a 20-year-old's hands starting on a championship lineup? But then again, you could let it roll him out there, give him that deep playoff experience, let him roll with your young guys, with the old
But
guys,
even
and
like even when Wiseman, like let's say Wiseman comes back, he plays like 20 games left in the season, then he rolls in and he starts in the playoff run. I don't think he's gonna play that much. Like, yeah, I think he'll play. He'll start. They'll play kind of how Bogut was used during those championship years, and then after Bogut, how Zaza was used. Yeah, they might start the game and they'll give you some minutes and they start the second half, but they're not the guy that you roll with in the fourth quarter. They don't really play much of the second either. They just kind of fill a traditional big man role. They give you like 15 hard minutes. That's about it. Um, and I think Wiseman will be the same thing because in crunch time, I don't think that Kerr is going to roll with Wiseman. He's probably just going to run Dre at the 5 and then run with like big wings like Otto, Iggy, Clay, and then Steph. But I don't know. I'm interested to see how that turns out because maybe you put Iggy at 4, you put Clay at 3, JP at 2, and Curry at 1. But I mean, you're a bit small. But
Iggy
the
at
size,
4.
yeah. But
You're putting Iggy at 4 and Dre at 3.
at 5, no.
At
But
5,
no.
okay, that makes sense.
But we're talking crunch time because if you look at Brooklyn, doesn't play a traditional big man in crunch time.
No.
Phoenix has Aiton, but that's probably a bit of an exception. But Milwaukee doesn't really run with Brook late in crunch time. They just slide Giannis to the 5.
Got Giannis. Gotta have
But
some,
Giannis is a freak.
gotta have
It's hard
someone
to
guard Giannis.
but no one can guard Giannis. That's the thing.
But
Who's gonna?
if you put Draymond Green on Giannis Antetokounmpo, it's gonna be a slaughterhouse.
You think so? They
I,
put
I
they put
know
him on
so.
they put him on KD and he played him pretty damn well. I think we
Try
made a
it.
big.
Watch.
I think no. The only thing. So I told you we had this talk. We had this talk last part. Is like I think there's some guys who are so good, you could hope to limit them and just
You
pray.
you won't know unless this point will never be proven unless the Warriors make the finals and play the Bucks.
Yeah, but who
Because
even now? If you look at it, who would you want to put on Giannis?
I would definitely have a big in the game. I wouldn't have a small lineup.
I don't think you've seen Looney play enough defense for you to think that.
Looney, I mean, I'd probably okay. I guess I'd
And I
have
don't think you've seen
Wiseman in.
Wiseman's defense leaves a lot to be desired based off his rookie year. So that's why I'm kind of. But yeah, nah, they're definitely going to run
You would
small.
definitely have to double,
Yeah,
like triple, like
try and set traps at a certain
yeah.
point. Yeah, but I mean that's it is what it is. There's always been guys like that, like who have just kind of like even despite our great defenses, no matter what, Kawhi cooked in 2019, LeBron cooked all those years. Like some guys just get theirs,
Yeah.
but
Makes
really,
sense.
but you wouldn't look at. I mean, other than Indy, do you even is there even really a guy there in terms of like a enticing name that like to make that big of a difference? Maybe Toronto, but I haven't heard that Toronto wants to blow everything up. I know Siakam's been in like a lot of talks with like media insiders, but I haven't actually seen anything from like the Raptors. Like
I'm not too sure how much of a difference I would really make.
it's just you're just hating on Pascal, man.
I mean, I'm fading on Pascal. He has a big contract. I don't
They
think I could
were calling him
even.
Spin Boy or some shit. Do you remember that? It was like last
Yeah,
year. He
yeah.
just had the one spin.
And they made a meme out of him. Then he played like shit the next year. It's probably
Yeah.
just got to his head.
How much did he get
Unnecessary
though?
spins. He got a decent bag. But honestly, I would. What I really want to see is I would love to see Kawhi go back to the Raptors. That would be awesome. I think
Nah, I
that's
think he
where
stays. I don't think he leaves. I
I
think they just
wish.
roll it. He opted in, right? Like, did he have a 1 year with the opt in like
I
this
think
past year?
so. I think so.
Because if he really wanted to, he could have opted out and he could have gotten paid like a max. Somebody
Yeah,
would have maxed him. Like even despite the ACL and everything, somebody would have maxed him no matter what. I mean, it's
no
Kawhi.
doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually really liked him in Toronto.
Yeah, it just kind of fit. I felt like. I mean, obviously, the Warriors win if they don't have the injuries, but I mean, injuries aren't an excuse. Injuries are a fact. Like, we know the Warriors would have won if Clay didn't get hurt. We know that most likely, the Suns probably would have won if they didn't have all their injuries.
What injuries did? What was it? What was?
Yeah. Devin Booker had a hurt hamstring, right? That he's playing through. Yeah, Chris
don't
Paul
give me the
playing.
CP3.
Chris Paul playing with one hand. You had Dario Saric was out, just straight up out.
Do you genuinely believe if CP3 didn't get banged up, Booker wasn't banged up, and Dario Saric playing, that they win?
There's more if you want to hear, but I mean, you have your opinion already.
Keep going. I want to hear this. What else? I'm not a big Suns guy, so I mean, maybe I'm missing.
Abdul Nader was banged up in the playoffs. He didn't have his legs under him in the finals. He was actually, believe it or not, he was really great for us during the regular season. He was a real rotational guy, and I was really upset when he was hurt. A little update on that game. Jason Tatum is going off right now, and the Celtics are winning 14-8 with Jason Tatum having all 14 points. So it looks like I was right. But I should.
How are you right?
Because I said, oh, Jason Tatum, he's gonna go off. He's gonna in prime time. He's gonna. Did I not say that?
This is some heavy revisionist history, but whatever. No, okay, yeah, but I could go down the same list with Milwaukee and say, hey, this guy was banged up. This Dante DiVincenzo didn't play, who was a big guard defender, who always guarded their best guard for Milwaukee.
And
look,
who?
Listen,
and who?
I'm saying, well, obviously, Matt. I'm not a Bucks fan, so I can't list
no one notable. One notable.
Yeah, but if you talk to anyone else, no one mentions.
Listen. It's exactly. Or anyways, that was my point. Injury is a fact. It's not an excuse. Everybody has their injuries. All right.
But you just know they would have won it.
I just have that gut feeling. All right. And that's why they have the motivation this year to get back to it, to show that that's what should have happened. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, that's exactly what I think. And I truly do think that they are the best team in the NBA at the moment.
All right. I don't know. We'll have that post-Christmas pod, and we'll talk about that matchup, and we'll see how that rolls out. It's going to be in Phoenix too, so I'm assuming the crowd will be popping. It
definitely will be. Anyways, real quick, want to talk about Hoop's been good recently. There's been some good runs. Good runs, man. Yeah, IRL, man. But a couple people were asking me, like, what's going on, man? The shot has just been...
No one has been asking you that, Matt. What are
a couple people have been showing me some, like, screen recordings of air balls.
Okay, first off, let's establish this whole...
I don't know, man. Like,
when we as a society decided that we needed to... There's no way you're posting a fucking video of pickup. Like, when we hit this point, I don't know where we decided to do this, but we started wanting to record pickup runs. We really lost ourselves. Like, somewhere there needs to be some deep reflection.
Is there too many? Is there too much film on you?
What are we talking about? We're talking about pickup basketball, bro. Suck.
Really, can you not attribute it to, like, YouTube videos, like intense park runs?
Here's the deal. Here's the difference. When those guys post YouTube videos, like the prominent, like YouTube, like the Nick Brizzes and the Ball of His Life and the Devontae Freeman, all those guys, they get hundreds of thousands of views.
Okay,
and some of them can play. We suck.
So you can't have aspirations. You can't have.
Who wants to watch any of us play? You can just go to the park and watch.
I want to watch you shoot an air ball. I'll get a chuckle out of it.
We could go to the park and watch moderately out of shape middle-aged men play bad basketball. All right, and it's the same exact experience. I promise you, nothing will change.
So you wouldn't want to see, like, yourself making a 3-point shot?
No, because my ego isn't so big that I desperately need validation that I made a 3-pointer.
I think you do. I think you do.
Pick up basketball.
I think it would make you smile. I think you'd crack a smile if you scored 15 out of 15 in the game, like 7 threes, and you had it on camera. I think you would smile. I mean, personally, I've never
amongst your friends.
recorded. I've never recorded myself. I'm just saying, I'm playing devil's advocate.
All right, Shapiro, good to know. So you're telling me if I went into your phone right now and I looked at your camera roll, that I wouldn't find any video of you playing basketball that you recorded?
Nah,
That's a lie. That's 100% a lie.
it's not a lie.
It's a lie.
No.
And first, and let's get this out of the way too. Nobody has come to you saying, "What's up with Eric's shot?" That is just not true.
A couple people did, like 3
And
or 4.
whoever went up to you and said that could not guard me. So I sleep at night knowing that that's a fact. So I mean, it is what it is. Now, did I have my best shooting performance last time I played? No. All right. And I'm not going to lie and act like I did. It was a rough night for all of us. Okay. Let's just get, sometimes.
Was it? I mean, I felt pretty good.
You weren't even there. Wait, were you there?
Yeah.
Were you there? Oh, you were there. Yeah. Honestly, the next topic. Jesus Christ. I don't know what we're talking about this.
Go on, finish your.
Look, man, I'm just saying, we all have off nights. All right, I don't need to be ridiculed on your podcast, all right, by Big Bird and Jay Sal and whoever these people are, all right? No one needs to hear about this, okay?
Oh, man. Eric, you're a funny guy. All right, man. I'm gonna hand you the mic. Is there any other topics you want to go over before we wrap things up here, man?
No, I mean, we'll talk post-Suns, Warriors Christmas run. Other than that, both of our Raiders are at 6-6. I'm not very optimistic. I do think that this is looking like another playoff miss for the 5th year in a row. It's hard, man. I didn't leave my room Sunday. I just sat in there and moped. It's depressing. And just to lose to a team as mediocre as Washington with a just kind of subpar QB like Heineke, it burns a little bit more. But I mean, I think clearly we're starting to learn that just the Raiders are subpar as well, which breaks my heart to say. But I mean, it is what it is.
Is that fair to say at this point? Raiders are subpar.
Yeah,
I remember saying preseason Raiders at best 8-9.
You said 8-8. Then I corrected you, and I said.
And then I said, okay, 8-9. Does that look like that preseason prediction is going to be on point?
Now that you mention that, I definitely see us winning out. I think 11-6 is about where we're going to finish.
Okay,
like, who knows, man? I can't figure this team out. I'm not going to sit here and there's obviously flaws, but I at the point of the team, I just pin where we're at now. If everything goes well, it's a just God somewhere in that sky. The Raiders win 5 straight, and we make the playoffs because I've suffered enough. Clearly, historically speaking, that has not been the case, and I've suffered my entire life. But I'm still going to watch on Sunday for some reason, and I still will catch the game, even though I'll be playing the whole time. I'm still going to be watching. But I mean, we got Chargers now. I hope we win because getting swept by your division rival was a bit humbling, but I don't know. Chargers have been probably just as inconsistent as us, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum. Same record, but I'm feeling optimistic. I feel like we hold our own destiny, and I feel like we should have won last week. Had a bad deck of hands.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, man.
You know, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Yeah, injuries are a fact, not an excuse. Yeah, man. Yeah.
You're really dying on that hill, aren't you?
What hill? What hill?
Injuries are a fact, not an excuse.
Look, all I'm saying is Niners at least 10 wins to end the year. If not
10?
If not 11, yeah.
I'm going to go with 9-8 for the Niners.
And I'm going to respectfully disagree.
And you say 10-7?
Yeah. If not 11.
We'll be back on this combo, but that's all I got.
All right. Well, don't forget about my $10 when the Lakers win tonight, and appreciate everybody tuning into the chat. You know, it's been a great night. All you guys tuning in have very, very much appreciated. And I believe we are gonna hop off. Any last words, Eric?
Go Raiders.
All right, go Niners. All right, later, guys.